All right, so Open 18.2 has been released, and I want to go over with you some supplements that can help you maximize your performance for Open Workout 18.2. There's a lot of videos out there about strategies or movements or whatever, all these different things that you can do for the workout, but I hardly ever see anybody talk about something that's very important, your fueling for the workout, and how you can maximize both your muscular state, your neurological state, and everything in between to maximize your performance acutely for that workout. And supplements are hugely powerful if you know what you're doing. So let's dive in. The workout is fast-paced workout followed by a max lift. Okay, so a few limiters that we want to try to supplement for that are going to be, I would say, the primary limiters for everybody in this workout. That's going to be for 18.2A or the workout. This is going to primarily come down to occlusion, meaning mainly the quad, meaning that your legs are going to get very, very tight. They're going to start to feel like lead towards the end of the workout after those squats and moving through the burpees really fast. And then that's going to transcend into the clean, where your legs still feel really heavy. So you want to prevent that occlusion if possible, or at least delay that. And the second main thing that we want to supplement for is that max lift. We want to make sure that your body is at a peak state to be able to lift as heavy as possible. And there's a lot that goes into this. Number one, if you can, before we even get to this, I would work out in the later part of the day, based off a lot of circadian rhythm research, everything from your central nervous system to your peak testosterone or hormone levels to your peak movability or movement or neurological efficiency, all happens after being awake for, like, I believe the research is about 6 to 8 hours or so. For anybody who trains within the first 5 to 6 hours of being awake, you're at a disadvantage because your central nervous system is not as primed as it would be if it was later. Now, there's a couple hacks that we can use to force that, and one of those hacks is caffeine. And this brings us to the first supplement that we would take. If you are going to work out within the first 6 hours of the day, then I would start your pre-workout supplements as soon as you wake up. And in that case, what you would do is when you, upon wake up, before eating, so this is while you're fasting, you will take 100 to 200 milligrams of caffeine in pill form. You can go buy caffeine pills at any local vitamin shop or vitamin store or supplement store. It's like $10 for like 100 of them, super cheap, hugely effective. Ditch the coffee, that takes way too long. It's not nearly as effective as pills. So take 100 milligrams, which would be a half a pill, just break it in half, down that, and then eat as normal, or 200 milligrams. The only difference there is if you feel like you're hesitant with caffeine, or you feel like you don't work well with high amounts of caffeine, use 100. If you feel really good with caffeine, then use 200. Okay, so pretty simple. That will help shift your circadian rhythm so that we can kind of fast forward, so to speak, through those first 6 hours. So we're kind of forcing the central nervous system to be, quote, awake, where it wouldn't necessarily be awake if we were working out within the first 6 hours of waking up. And at the same time you're doing that, eat as normal. Don't eat until fullness. Within the hours leading up to the workout, have less fat in your meals, so there's less GI stress on your body, and a little bit more carbohydrate. But again, don't eat till fullness. We're going to be supplementing with energy before that workout, so we don't necessarily need that meal for energy. We just want that so that you feel satiated or not hungry, and you feel comfortable. So don't force yourself to eat. Now, right before the workout, we're going to take a couple things. We're going to take a shake, so just in a shaker cup with some water, about 30 to 60 minutes before you start the workout. 2 scoops of Pulse, the link for that's in the description. Another 100 to 200 milligrams caffeine pill, plus sugar in the form of either maltodextrin or dextrose, whatever you feel better off of. For if you've never used either of these, use maltodextrin. Pretty cheap and easy to find. You can again get that in any pretty much vitamin store. And then we're going to finish that cocktail off with something special for this workout and use some nootropics, which are brain stimulants. And the reason for that is because if you think about a max clean, then that is basically a pure expression of strength. And what we need to do in that situation is make sure that your neural connection, so your brain and connecting your brain or down through your spinal cord, through your central nervous system, to your muscle fibers. When you go to do a max clean, you need to be able to recruit every muscle fiber that you can, and you need to be able to do it very quickly and very efficiently. That comes down to the neurotransmitters that are in your brain that then communicate to your muscle fibers to contract. And there's ways that we can force that connection to be more powerful. And one of those ways is through increasing it at something called acetylcholine in your brain. There's a couple different ways to do that. I won't get too deep in the woods here, but the two supplements that we will use is something called Alpha-GPC and Huperzine A. You can find both of these in the vitamin store. Alpha-GPC and Huperzine A. These will not go in the shake, these will be in pill form, as will the caffeine. Okay, so to review, you'll have 2 scoops of Pulse, about 40 to 60 grams of maltodextrin, and then you'll top that off with another 100, 200 milligrams of caffeine in pill form. Again, 100 milligrams if you're a little uneasy with caffeine, 200 if you feel great with it. And then you will add some nootropics, which will, in this case will go 900 milligrams of Alpha-GPC along with 200 micrograms of Huperzine A. The end effect of this should be that you feel absolutely amazing. Everybody usually tells me it feels like they're on Adderall. They feel like Superman pretty much. That's exactly how I feel when I take this. And you will be more than primed regardless of what time you're doing this workout. With something called theanine that dampens the excitability effect of caffeine, which basically leaves you feeling all the positive effects of caffeine, so a reduced and perceived effort, which is highly advantageous for a workout like this, which is going to feel very tough, plus the absolute stimulation of your central nervous system, plus a huge shift in your ability to force blood to pump through your body, which then combines with citrulline and something called trimethylglycine, which combined will increase your vasodilation of your blood vessels. What that means is it will expand your blood vessels so that more blood can flow through. And if you have more blood flowing through at once, that means you can get more oxygen to your muscles faster, which means we can prevent the occlusion of those front squats. Which will absolutely happen if you're moving fast enough. It will also help your breathing because you breathe because you need to get rid of CO2 and you need to get in oxygen. If we can find a way to get that oxygen that you're taking in to the muscle faster and get CO2 out faster, then that will just help the breathing. And essentially, you wouldn't have to breathe as much. And that's what the combination of all of these supplements would do. Now, a couple other things. If you don't have Pulse, definitely buy it. You'll probably use it in every open workout. But if you do not have Pulse, then I would mix 350 milligrams, you can use pill form, along with 350 milligrams of theanine, which again you can buy in a local vitamin shop. Take that with some sugar, and you can add some branched chains to this for flavor, along with Alpha-GPC and Huperzine A. And that will give you a huge advantage in this workout. This could quite literally put, I would say, 10, 20 pounds on that lift pretty easily, and also buy you a lot of time in that workout if you can prevent that occlusion. And that's it. Email me if you have any questions, Devin at performerfuelnutrition.com.